You're up at 2 a.m., maybe 3 a.m. You don't even really know anymore because the days and the nights, they've just all blurred together. The curtains, you got them drawn closed, not because it's dark outside, but because you don't want to see the light. The TV's on, but you're really not even watching it. You got a drink in your hand, and maybe it's not even the first. And the house is quiet, except for the noise in your head that just won't stop. You're not lazy, you're not weak, you're just lost, and you don't know how to find your way back, or even if there is a way back. I know this feeling all too well because that was me. For a while after my divorce ended, that was my life, staying up all night, drinking to quiet down everything, then sleeping the days away, trying to avoid facing them. I stopped leaving the house, I closed the curtains, I pushed away people who actually cared about me, and I isolated myself. My work, I'm in real estate. I just let it go. I stopped caring about anything. I didn't want to be successful, and I didn't care about building anything. Because when you feel like you've lost everything, you start asking yourself, why bother? And if you've ever felt that way, that specific feeling of just having a reason to try anymore, then you know how heavy that is to carry around. Now here's what I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you there is some big moment. One morning I woke up and the fog was lifted and I decided to change my life. That's not how it happened. That's not how it happens for most of us. What happened was slower than that and far more messier than that. But it started with a routine. I had a friend, and this friend didn't have some better advice than anybody else. Didn't sit me down and give me some roadmap. What this friend did was just believe in me when I was at my worst, when I was being someone that I didn't even recognize. This person never judged me for it, never criticized me for it, just had the quiet patience and the belief that the person I was being wasn't really me. The Dan was still there. The Dan was a good person. The Dan had something worth fighting for in life. Sometimes that's just all it takes. Just one person who refuses to give up even when you've totally given up on yourself. And slowly, because of that, and because I just got tired of feeling that way, I started to go outside. That's it. That was the whole plan. I'd go for walks, long ones. I set a goal for myself to get in 20,000 steps a day, not because some doctor told me to, not because I read it somewhere, because it meant I had to leave. It meant I had to be out in the world, in the sunlight, around people, moving. And when you've been drinking through the nights and sleeping through the days, just feeling that sunlight on your skin is something that you realize you had been missing. I had to face the alcohol too. That's the honest version of this. I was using it to numb everything that was hurting. And at some point, I had to taper that off. That part was not easy, but you can't build anything real on top of something you're still trying to escape. So I started feeling it, and while I was feeling it, I needed somewhere to put it. I started going to the gym, not for some big fitness goal in mind, just because I needed to do something with all of that energy, all of that anger and that grief that was inside of me, and relentless that had nowhere to go. And the gym gave it somewhere to go. I started writing things down, not any formal way, just talking to myself on paper, trying to work through what what I was feeling instead of letting it spin around in my head all night, 2, 3 in the morning. It wasn't therapy. It was just getting it out. I started taking day trips, going to the beach, going anywhere that wasn't those four walls that surrounded me. I'd go to a restaurant myself, which if you're someone who's never done that, it feels a little strange at first, sitting there alone, but I started to learn that I could be okay in my own company, that I wasn't someone to run from. And slowly, I started letting the right people in. Not everyone. I was more careful this time about who I spent my energy on. I let go of some of the relationships that were pulling me down, and I started building new ones, saying hi to people, being open, and letting myself be known again. I got back to work. Real estate had been my life before all of this just happened. You know, I walked away from it, stopped caring, but slowly that came back. None of it happened in order. None of it happened cleanly. Some days I'd do everything right and still fall apart by the evening. Some weeks felt like I was starting over from zero, and I had to make peace with that because that's just how it works. It's not in a straight line, and it never is. Sometimes you just need something to do. Get up, put your shoes on, walk out the door. Then day you look back and realize that one walk, that one morning you got up instead of staying in bed, that was the beginning. That was you choosing yourself even when you didn't feel like you were worth choosing. If you're in the dark place right now, I want you to know you're not alone. And you're not who you're being right now. There's a version of you on the other side of this, and he's worth fighting for. Start small, start today, build a routine. And if this helped you, or if you're someone sitting in the dark right now who needs to hear this, share this with them. Not for me, for them. Take care of yourself. You're worth it.